Well, hello and welcome to another RiderCamTV video, and today we're up at Demerells where dreams are made on a beautiful day like this. Look at the sunshine, and today I've got this Honda Transalp XL750 in black, and it's got I forget what the pack is, but it's got a pack on there, and that has got the bars, the lights, and a few other quick shifter, that sort of stuff. But doesn't it look special? I've been really looking forward to this, and I'm wondering if it's like the Honda Hornet type engine, but I don't know. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully this is recording. Yeah, let's go for it. Oh, I like that. How nice is that? How nice is that? I'll tell you what, very first impressions of being on this. Now this bike is 204 kilos, would you believe? 204 kilos! Ho-ho! 204 kilos with about 92, 95 brake horsepower. Now, we're not concerned, and never have been, with all these figures that everybody gets so stressed about. What we do is we review the bike and see how what we think about the bike in terms of everyday use, you know, a layman's point of view, that sort of thing. So forgive us if we get some of the numbers wrong when we're actually riding. It's a lot to think about when you're riding along, and sometimes we come up, everything's planned, and suddenly the bike that we want to take out, we're not able to take out, and they say, oh, can you take this bike? We don't have it for very long. So thank you to Demerells, but Transalp XL750. Oh yes, gets up to speed really quick, and I tell you what, it's really smooth. Really smooth, and with a P, it's really strange because that the windscreen there, you would think that it wouldn't give you very much protection, but I have got a peaked helmet on and I'm not getting one bit of buffeting. In actual fact, it's really comfy. There's lots of clean, sterile air here. It's really good. So, seating position. Oh my gosh. This is it bad to say this is the one? It's the one if you're looking for a really nice touring bike that looks special. I'm really quite liking this. Oh, stop doing this to me, Demerells. All these bikes, they're lovely, and I've been so looking forward to this Transalp because the pictures on the Transalp, pictures about the Transalp have been so good, or so nice. And I think they said that it's got a 21-inch front wheel, and it doesn't feel like it, you know. It feels like a normal size wheel, and I know that sounds really strange, but if you think like 19-inch and stuff, and you've got the Africa Twin has got a bigger front wheel. And the first time I rode the Africa Twin, I was quite surprised with how different it handled. This one handles like a small wheel on the front, but we're in a 60. Let's see what. Wow, I think this is a bike for many people, you know. So, seating position, that's what we were going to talk about. The seat is probably one of the most comfortable seats I've sat on in a long time on a bike. Now, I said that about the Africa Twin. The Africa Twin's seat came up the front and almost cupped your nether regions. That's the word, up front nether regions for men. And this isn't any different. It feels like that's what they've done. They've taken a seat from an Africa Twin. That's the seat, really comfy. I'm at 90 degrees. I feel like I'm on my GSA actually. It's got that kind of seating position for me, upright back. It feels very upright. Arms don't feel too stretched. I'm certainly not leaning forward at all. I feel like I'm bolt upright on this bike. The handlebars, really nice width apart. but not too close, not too far away. And you've got all of the usual refinements with the Honda switchgear, both left and right. Although the only thing that I really wish Honda would come away from is having the horn above the indicators. So if you look here, you've got the mode and the horn, and then you've got the indicators. So the indicator's in the right place for your thumb, but I have found myself a few times looking down to try and find where that indicator is. A bit disconcerting, but that's just about getting used to the bike, isn't it? Usual refinements from Honda up the front. It's got a key for this ride. It's got the HIS system, you know, the Honda, I think it's Honda Intelligent Security System. So it's fitted with that. And then up front, you've got your, I think, TFT screen. Now that screen looks the business, doesn't it? What does it remind you of? Answers on a postcard. No, it reminds me of the Africa Twin and the Honda NT1100 screen, only just a little bit smaller, because you've got all the power, engine, braking, torque, ABS, and you've got different modes. So it's in sport at the moment, which is how I like it, but you can tailor the bike to what you want in terms of the modes. So you've got standard, rain, gravel, user, and then sport. We'll stick it in sport for a minute, I think. But the pickup is in. And that quick shifter, oh, sublime, sublime. So that was up to 60 in no time at all. Now I have got a very, very slight amount of vibration in the foot pegs. Nothing untoward, and certainly nothing different than I've been experiencing on my GSA actually. So nothing out of the ordinary, nothing that's going to really annoy you. No vibrations through the handlebars whatsoever. And it's just got so much power. For 90, I think it's about 92, 95 brake horsepower, but 204 kilos. So you can imagine that ratio of the horsepower and the weight of the bike actually makes you feel like you're riding something a lot quicker. Awesome, awesome. So, wing mirrors, really like the shape of it, and I think somebody in one of the comments on a few videos ago said, well, funny shaped mirrors, ha ha ha. Yeah, they are, but I can see all the road behind me, very little bit of my arm, but it is quite nice to know where your arm is, because then you've got a reference point to where you're looking, haven't you? To see everything. Really easy to adjust as well, standard configuration of mirrors to be fair, and really nice. Up front we've got a blanking spot. I think you could probably get a power outlet there as well, and there's nothing else really up front at all to be worried about, because this is, I know many manufacturers, if I get my words out, would say that they make a bike for riding, but this feels like a bike for riding. It's so flickable. It's just incredible. You know, where do motorbikes go from now? You know, where do they take and how do they up the game? Because this is, I think, something really quite nice. It's got no cruise control on it by the looks of it, which is a bit of a shame. It would have been nice to have cruise control, but the feel of the throttle on the acceleration, it's really nice and smooth, and the quick shifter, much the same as that buttery smooth one that was on the Honda. I would say it's just about awesome. And because it's thinner, look at this, I can stay on the inside of the road, even though that Mini is obviously bigger in her head than it actually really is. I could get through there because there is nothing outside. It's really quite strange riding such a slim bike. Now you can get panniers and you can get all of that good stuff to go on it. So if you are going to use it to tour, the ability to use or the ability to buy all of those things is all there. Could I tour on this all day? Well, we've had it for a couple of hours and we've been riding about, and in actual fact it's really nice and smooth. At 28 miles an hour in third gear, it's smooth. There is a bit of a I want to go, but it's not pulling on my arm, but there is a bit of jerkiness in the engine. It's just wanting to go, but we're in a national speed limit now, NSL, and off we go. Up to 60 in absolutely no time whatsoever. Quick shifting up into 6th. Really buttery smooth. I nearly sounded like the Fast Show, like jazz hands. Smooth. But that's exactly what this bike is, really smooth. I think this is going to be a real contender for the touring market. Perhaps a little bit of off-roady type things, but let's face it, guys and girls, you know, we all buy these motorbikes with the intention of doing off-road, and this is going to be a really accomplished bike off-road and on-road. But how many of us are actually going to take a bike like this off-road? Don't know. There will be those hardened bikers that will do it, but ultimately most of these bikes are going to stay on the road, aren't they? And this is so well planted, I cannot believe it. It's just so nice to ride. And incidentally, the brakes are really good, and you do get a bit of a dip. You do get a little bit of a dip when you put your brakes down, but there's not much of a dip at all. It's almost like the dampening of it coming back up is damped enough so that it dips, but then it comes back in a controlled way. So you're not like one of these, can't think of a bike, but we've ridden one not long ago where you touch the brakes and you're like bouncing all over the place. The suspension is really nice and firm, but not in an uncomfortable way. It's firm that you know that this bike is really planted. You know where you're putting it, you know what line you're taking it on, but it's really comfy. And I think some of that is with the seat. The seat does feel really quite thick, but it's cupping my buttocks, something chronic. I love it. Doesn't it look smart, Mark?
I've got to say, it looks really smart. I've also got to say I don't like the colour, but you know.
I'm with you, because I get mixed up with the Tenere and the Transalp.
No way!
Because they look kind of similar, don't they?
They do. A bit.
I think it's a really nice colour, but it's too understated for the bike.
Yeah.
Because this bike, riding it along, I was like, I've been really excited about riding this bike. And Mark has yet, well, he didn't know how excited, but I have been, because it's been all over social media. Everybody's been saying, wow, what a bike. And I think, I'll be the judge of that. No, only joking. There's many other opinions out there. We get things wrong. We're constantly told in the comments that we get numbers wrong, but we don't care about numbers. I was saying when I was riding, we're not worried about horsepower and how heavy it is. It's nice to know them, so we'll put them up on the card. Hopefully, Mark's left enough space one side or the other for me to put it up. But I do know that this is about 90, 95 brake horsepower, but it's 204 kilos. So think about the ratio of that for all of you people that want to go out there and zoom down the road at a million miles an hour. This will get you there.
Do a million miles an hour?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. It's not quite as fast as the, what did you take? It's got the hump that stops you sliding off.
The, I can't remember.
Hayabusa. That goes back in time. This one doesn't go back in time. But I tell you what, I think they've taken this, we'll talk about.
Before you go back in time, I can take you back in time.
Okay.
When the first time I saw these were, I can't even tell you what it is, but it was an E-Reg one. So it was, the number plates were 3 letters, 3 numbers and an E after it. That's how old they are.
Wow.
These bikes, the Transalp or the Transalp, has been around for a long time. And if you're in Europe, you still see the original ones riding around because they're phenomenal bikes. They're not going to actually light the sky up with, you know, blistering speed or anything like that. They've never ever done that. But these guys are donkeys. Like I say, with trail bikes and road bikes, the trail bike, you load it up and it'll ride all day. You know, a road bike, you put very little load on it, it'll ride for 10 minutes.
However, you're saying that it's not going to set the world on fire, this will do, because the speed limit in the UK is 70. It's as fast as you can go, isn't it, on the road legally? People will do whatever they want to do and they'll end up dead. It's up to them, isn't it? However, this one, the torque in it is immense. So from 30 to 60 or from 0 to 60, it felt like you were going at a rate of knots. And instantly you're up there. And this one is fitted, I forget what Mark says the pack is called, but the pack that's fitted to it's got a quick shifter, sublime. It's like a knife going through melted butter. It's that smooth. It's just like the Hornet. And I think, isn't this much the same as the Hornet engine?
They have so many variations on a single engine, you know. It's just hard to say, but you know,
but
it might be.
Beautiful engine, and I saw it and I thought this is going to be, like I said about the Hornet, I thought that it was going to be a little bit lumpy.
Yep.
It's more lumpy than an inline 4, but it's always going to be, but it's not a lumpy bike. It's really quite smooth.
2-cylinder, got to be thrashed.
Yeah. So this one's got this pack on it. The pack's got the bars, the lights, and the quick shifter. And obviously that's extra, and we'll put the price up as to how much it is at the moment in the UK, because Mark didn't tell us, did he?
You might have done, but I can't remember.
If we guess, you're only going to rib us in the comments anyway.
Yeah, so we're not having
but come round this side, Mark. So seating position. When I'm sat on the bike, I feel like I'm on my GSA.
No.
90 degrees, it feels. 90 degrees. It feels like this is the right place to be. Not too far forward, not too far back, just right. Mirrors are really good, but before you come in, look at this seat. I think they've taken that seat from the Africa Twin, because it's ball clenching
and buttock clutching
and buttock cupping. It is other than the Africa Twin, I said it when I was riding, this is one of the most comfortable seats to sat on, because you think it's really wide, and Mark will probably do his thing like that, and you know.
Well, I'm going to do that now. So it is. I didn't even film that. So that's about 9.5. That's probably what, 13 inches.
About that.
Sorry for the paint on my fingers. I was spraying some this morning.
Looks like you've been nicking pollen.
No.
But it looks like it's going to be too wide, but it's just right, because it goes really slim here where your legs hang down, and then you can grip the tank. Really, really nice. Switch gear.
Honda switch gear.
Honda switch gear. So on the right hand side we've got start, stop, that's it. On the left hand side we've got all the lights, all that sort of stuff. Modes, horn, indicators, hazards, your flicky things for your menu, and function button. However, I really wish Honda would stay away from putting their horn above the indicator, because on every other bike they're below. Whether they're making a statement, I don't know, but I've had to look several times at where my thumb's been fumbling about trying to look for the indicator. Minor problems, you get used to it if you have the bike. Mirrors, really, really nice. But we were talking about the mirrors a few minutes ago, weren't we? Why do they cut off that much of the mirror? Is it to make it look better? And they do look as though they suit the bike.
That's your blind spot.
Yeah, it's just a little bit odd, isn't it? But screen.
Before you go to there,
yeah,
I've noticed something else. Look how high those bar risers are.
They are very, very, very high.
But they're comfortable.
Really comfy.
So that's probably negating the reason for people to say, oh, I need to buy bar risers and, you know, move the bike back and all that kind of stuff.
But I dare say that you can get the up and back to bring it even further back.
God, why would you need that though? Because they're huge.
Yeah, but
look at them.
You might be a normal sized person with tiny
Put your hand in there. Wow.
Right, so screen. Now, when I turn it on, I was talking about this when I was riding. What do you think this looks like? Other than the screen, of course, Mark.
Transalp.
What do you think that looks like?
I'm supposed to know, aren't I?
That looks like a scaled down version of the screen that's on the Africa Twin and the NT1100, because it's the same fonts, and with your mode button you've got standard, rain, gravel, user, in which case you can go through and you can set all of the power, engine braking, torque, ABS, all that sort of stuff to your liking. and sport, and that's what I had it in. I tell you what, that does not disappoint you. So in terms of what's on there, really great graphics. You can change it around as much as you want to. We're not going to go through loads and loads of things, but the menu will allow you to go through and have different things on display.
Just keep going, clicking through. And again. Oh, okay.
It's got the date on it.
Yeah, I saw Saturn, I thought, is that something to do with Saturn? I thought it was giving you position then.
Well, this has got the Honda Connect. I think it's Honda Connect, but it's got Bluetooth connection, and it'll do your mapping and your turn by turn apparently. So that's really good. It would have been nice if they'd have had Apple CarPlay like the Africa Twin, but I guess the Africa Twin is a lot more money, isn't it?
It is.
But I really like the layout of it, and things with Honda, other than other makes. Look at this. I know it's plastic.
A sunscreen.
But you get your sunscreen. And what did Baz Luhrmann say? Wear sunscreen. So if it's good for Baz Luhrmann,
there you go.
It's good for any rider,
Cool.
isn't it? So we're fortunate today that the weather is amazing. And I could see that all the way through, the sun behind me, the sun in front of me. I'm not sure what it'd be like at that golden hour in the evening and the morning, but it didn't have any reflection at all. I don't know what
I like about it, because I mentioned on a bike I was riding that it's the dark screen.
Yeah.
They've gone from that white screen, which I think is quite glary at
too
night.
garish, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So
that's really nice.
You can read that, and it is really, really easy to read.
Yeah.
I like it.
So
and you've got probably about 4 million different options, so we can't even bother going into them.
There will probably be loads of people talking about this sort of thing, but we're talking about the bike. So it comes with a key, with the Honda, I think it's Honda Intelligent Security System, something like that, the HIS system.
HIS system.
It's got a key. I'm a fan of keys as well as wireless, because if you've got your key and the bike is on, you know that you've got them. How many times on a tour do I have to pull over on the side of the road thinking, where are my keys? And I physically got to take it out of my pocket to make sure I've got them. Not so with this.
Not so.
No.
It's a proper key.
Right, let's have a look at the lights.
Right. Lights and screen.
Yeah.
Does that screen move?
It does, but we're going to look at the lights
We're
first.
looking at the lights.
I don't know why, even though it's a Honda thing to do, to have these on all the time. BMW do it. Lots of other manufacturers seem to be doing it. Having these on all the time is a bit confusing for people.
It's not an EU requirement, is it?
No, I don't.
But I know for the American market they have to have it.
But we're not in America.
Exactly.
So why subject us to American things?
Because I do believe that is an unsafe thing. People are seeing those indicators, and because car drivers are pretty basic sometimes.
Hence, which is why we've gone to the visor lights for our GSAs.
Visor Technic.
Visor Technics, amazing, amazing lights. Anyway, all LED. You can see the lights there.
Yeah, I'm not.
They are
going
really,
down because
really
they're very
bright,
but they're flickering. So.
And it's really strange. The amount of bikes that are made now, all different shapes. You look at the cars. One car goes by, then another, and sometimes you've got a problem distinguishing whether it's a Mercedes or an Astra. They're kind of all moulding into the same thing, aren't they?
Yep.
This looks very different than many other bikes, and you know it's Transalp coming. It's like the KTM. You know, the KTM lights are very KTM, aren't they?
Yep.
You've got these as well, which is really, really good. And you've got your hazards and all that sort of stuff. So
you don't know how to switch them on though, do you?
Yeah, I'm just not going to turn them on. They're just really bright lights.
Because that one's bright and that one's lifted up anyway.
So this is a fixed screen.
Ah.
It's actually fixed. And for those of people that will say, oh no, you do this and you do that.
In that kind of voice?
Yeah, oh, you do this, you do that. It's actually fixed. Right inside there, it's one bracket. So I'm guessing that you'll be able to buy aftermarket stuff. But even with a peak, 5'9", no, 5'10", 5'11", with my peaked helmet, I wasn't wearing it like a trilby, you know, my peaked helmet, no buffeting whatsoever. And I commented when I was riding how clean the air was here. Really quite amazing for such a small screen, but leaving you with all that view.
It's quite upright.
Yeah.
Which obviously pushes the air over the top.
Yeah.
And it amazes me how people complain about buffeting, you know, on their helmets, and you know, catching the peak of my helmet, and you think, well, okay, you might be on the wrong bike,
yeah. Or just sit down like that and pretend you've got no neck.
Yeah.
21-inch tyre.
Good Lord, look at those. Look at that
and it's big. But the first time I ever got onto an Africa Twin, because they've got 21 inch, haven't they, on the front, it felt very different to the ones that's on my bike, because mine's a 19 inch.
Yep.
On the GSA. This felt really natural.
21 inches is a tyre that you would expect to take go off-road on.
Yeah, although I think this is more suited, and so does Mark, the salesman. He said it'll do off-road, but pitch it against something like the 800 DE, is it DL or DL? DE from Suzuki Vistrom. That's probably more weighted against going off-road. But
so what tyres are these? These are Dunlop.
Well, they're black ones.
Dunlop Trail Max.
Yeah, they're black ones.
Okay.
Yeah, they're great. So we have got a nice can over there, and I think it actually suits it. And I'm not a fan of changing these cans and having Acropovic and Arrow and stuff. Lots of people like them, but I'm quite happy with what the manufacturer decides works best with the bike. Really, really do.
Has a centre stand.
It does have a centre stand, which is really quite good this day and age.
Well, some bikes don't have them at all, do they? I think it's quite important.
You know, even things like filling up. You know, if you want to fill up and it's on the side, you're not going to fill it up properly. Fill it up flat, you're going to get everything on there. It's got a chain. Only downside for me, but we now know that chains are not that bad, don't we? Don't we, Mark?
Yeah, we do. Oh, look, there's a tractor.
Yeah, see, we do live in Cornwall. But I really, really like the bike. Really like it. Massive grab handles for the pillion.
A quick question about the rear lights.
Okay.
Your rear...
Yes, they do work.
No, that's it. Okay, so the running light is your brake light. Right.
And they're really quite bright, aren't they?
Yep.
But I've been blown away by this. I was so excited about riding it. I thought, is it going to live up to expectations? I think it really, really does. Would I be able to tour on this all day long? As much as my GSA, I'm sure. The tank won't hold as much fuel, and you would have seen on the card how much fuel goes in there, but it was doing 56 odd miles to the gallon on the screen. Shouldn't bad, is it? And we weren't hanging about. We've been pushing it for a couple of hours, haven't we?
Yeah.
Up to speed limit, windy roads, that sort of stuff. I think it's an exceptional little bike. It's not a little bike, but
it's a huge bike. However, I don't like the colour scheme, because the original colour scheme back in the day was a white, red and blue. It was like a faded stripe
almost like that Africa Twinny type colours.
Yeah, so this is, I think that is the best colour for it.
But what you do get...
Hang on, he's just thrown his leg over the bike.
What you do get is a bike that is, I mean, I'm 5'11", and you can see the bend in my leg.
You've got up, you're 5'9", 10, no, 11.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
All right.
See the bend in my leg? So if you're like 5'9", 5'8", you're going to be able to touch the floor, really no problem at all. The seat's obviously going to go up and down no matter where you want it. And you're getting the Honda refinements of the engine and the guarantee or warranty and all that sort of stuff, and the workpersonship, we should be saying, shouldn't we? I don't know.
No, please don't say that.
I really like it. Would I buy one? Yes, I would. Would I tour on one all day long? I'd be really happy to tour on it, because do you know what? The amount of stuff that you put on your bike now, phones and cradles and God knows what else, actually, I'm at the point that I want to go back to basics a little bit now. You know, there's too much stuff on the bike, isn't there? This, I think, is a rider's bike where you can get on it, chuck it around, enjoy it, and go touring. I would say it's great for touring, not great for being two up, because you need to be selfish when you're riding it. Of course, it's good for two up. But
I'm sure they'll do panniers for it. We haven't seen any panniers because they've only just got it in the showroom, but I'm sure there'll be aftermarket panniers.
I would purposely put insurance on this to not have a pillion, so that I could enjoy it myself, because I'm selfish like that. Anyway, lovely, lovely bike. Go down to Demerells. Thanks for letting us take them out, as always. They'll do you good deals. Lovely, lovely bike, and it's lived up to my expectations, which is amazing. So if you like it, thumbs up, subscribe, all that business, and we'll see you in the next video.